49ers update here from Santa Clara, where Brock Purdy was not throwing at practice today. Limited participant due to the sore shoulder following the game against the Seattle Seahawks. Purdy was in the QB1 spot during warm-ups, but he only performed the footwork drills and handoffs without any throws involved. So obviously trying to rest that shoulder so it's in a better spot. We'll see what Brock Purdy is doing at practice tomorrow. I wouldn't read into this too far in either direction, just like I wouldn't read into Nick Bosa's absence from practice too far in either direction. Bosa himself in the locker room said that it's too early to make a judgment for Sunday. He hurt the oblique/hip on the opposite side against the Seattle Seahawks. That knocked Bosa out of the game. He says that he's a little bit more sore on that left side than he was at this point of the week last week on the right side. He didn't practice on Wednesday and Thursday last week since rest was the prescription for Nick Bosa, and rest is again the prescription for him this week. The 49ers have needed to add another defensive lineman to get through these practices without Bosa, so they re-signed Jonathan Garvin, who had been with the team a little bit earlier this season, to the practice squad. Garvin is a defensive end who actually used to play for the Green Bay Packers. He's participating in practice as I speak, and he will be with the 49ers through at least this week. But that doesn't point one way or the other with Nick Bosa. The plan had been to rest him just like they did last week, and we'll see how he's feeling on Sunday. That's obviously the big one to watch as the 49ers get ready for a massive game against the Green Bay Packers. I can't emphasize this enough, but the probability swing between a win and a loss for the 49ers is massive. They're victorious in Green Bay, over a 50% chance to make the postseason. If they lose in Green Bay, the 49ers will have only about a 15% chance to make the postseason. George Kittle, this is good news. This helps the 49ers in their quest to beat Green Bay. He said today that he will for sure play against the Packers. So Kittle missed last week with the hamstring injury. He said that he didn't want to risk being shelved for 4 to 6 weeks if that hamstring was tenuous and he had pulled it running a route. He feels much better now, and he is absolutely 100% certain that he's going to play against Green Bay. 49ers obviously missed George Kittle's multi-dimensional presence a lot. I thought that Kyle Shanahan made a mistake by putting Jalen Moore, an offensive lineman, their swing tackle, in for 12 snaps at tight end to help replace Kittle. You don't replace George Kittle. He's a future Hall of Famer. And although Jalen Moore obviously is a good blocker, at least relative to other tight ends, he can't run out there and be a receiving threat. And I think that really compromised and limited the 49ers offense against Seattle. I think that Shanahan should have just leaned into his receiving core, played guys like Jacob Cowingmore, just embraced the fact that the personnel didn't dictate as strong of a running game, and go out there and throw the ball a little bit more. Obviously, the 49ers did not do that, but this week they should not have to face that dilemma with George Kittle saying that he's for sure going to be back. No Trent Williams, no Christian McCaffrey at practice today, but that was expected. Williams dealing with the ankle. McCaffrey is coming back from the Achilles, so both of them had pre-planned rest days. In the case of somebody like Trent Williams, who is still dealing with an ongoing injury, that's a decision, just like Nick Bosa's, that may not come until Sunday, may not come until the day of the game in Green Bay. Charvarius Ward back in the building for the 49ers. Charvarius was on bereavement leave following the tragic death of his 1-year-old daughter, Amani Joy. 49ers welcome him back. He was a limited participant. They're going to see where he's at. The no-rush philosophy here continues, as it should for San Francisco. They're going to see how Charvarius is feeling and performing this week before deciding what kind of role he's going to have against the Packers. No Tatum Bethune, the rookie linebacker, sprained his MCL against the Seahawks, so he's going to be out for a few weeks for the 49ers. And still no Kevin Givens. That groin injury has proven to be troublesome for Kevin Givens. They expected him back sooner, but still not back. Last I saw him was Friday when he was doing some work on the side for San Francisco. Today, Kyle Shanahan made a few good points that we can delve further into with the lives tonight. We'll see how many times I broadcast tonight, so be ready for that. But he said, Brock Purdy's playing at the same exact level as he did in 2022 and 2023. The team around him is just worse. That might break the brains of people who don't understand that this is a team sport, but I think it's true. I would even offer that maybe Brock Purdy is playing better this season than he has in previous seasons. He's throwing the downfield deep pass with more regularity and with more accuracy, although that's not been a part of the 49ers offense over the past 2 weeks. He's scrambling much more effectively than he did in the past. But, this is something I asked George Kittle. This is something that I've wondered for a while now, and I wrote a lot about it a couple weeks ago, and the 49ers seem to, very temporarily get out of the rut. They've thrown the fewest screen passes in the NFL this season. Like, they are dead last in screen passes. Purdy threw the 6th most last year. Kyle Shanahan today said that it's because defenses are gearing up against the screen because the 49ers have been so good at it lately. I asked George Kittle about this very same issue, and he didn't have as clear of an answer. He said that the 49ers still have the screen passes in their playbook, but they just haven't gone to them. He added that he'd rather the 49ers just run the ball, but George Kittle loves when the 49ers run the ball because he loves the block. This is something to keep an eye out for. I just think that San Francisco, well, they're dead last in yak. They were number 1 in yak last year. The screen passes are on the other end of the spectrum too. I just don't think that they've implemented the gimmies as effectively as they have in the past, which has led to a higher variance offense, and a higher variance offense is not going to be as consistent. And, when you do lack consistency, then sometimes you can struggle to close out games, even if the overall efficiency rankings are solid, which they still are for the 49ers. This is still an offense in the top 5 of DVOA. But obviously, the games have turned into losses, these close ones, especially the ones against the NFC West rivals. Nick Bosa today at his locker echoed what Kyle Shanahan said at his press conference, that the 49ers are a few plays away from being 8-2 instead of 5-5. And that's true, and it mirrors what the efficiency ranking says, but they still have to deliver the plays to actually secure those victories. And that's what the NFL comes down to. That being said, the 49ers are not incorrect when they say that they've been very close, and that's definitely worth something. That shows that they've got the ability to win these games against good opponents moving forward, which is what they're going to have to do since the Packers and the Bills are coming up next on the schedule. So they're hanging on to the fact that they've been really damn close to winning these games, combined with the fact that they have used this roster core to go really, really far over the past several seasons. They're using that as belief entering this game against Green Bay. That's how the team is strategizing. That's how the team is circling the wagons heading into such an important game at Lambeau Field, where 37% of the crowd is expected to be 49ers fans by Vivid Seats. I think that's absolutely remarkable. The 49ers fan takeovers, I'm not surprised when it happens in Tampa Bay, even though that's far away from the Bay Area. But when it happens in Green Bay, that's a place that prides itself on filling up the stadium with Packer fans. That's a nod to 49ers fans. Now we'll see if the 49ers will reward a fan base that travels exceptionally well. They've got a huge game coming up in Green Bay. There's your update. Much more coming soon. Follow along. We'll talk to you in a bit.
Yeah, no, it gets better every day. We'll see. Definitely a little early to call it either way, so we'll find out in a few days.
Is one side more of an issue than the other, or at this point, or?
Yeah, the left side.
That was the one you heard on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
How does it compare to this time last week?
It's a little more sore, but you never know. Could be good.
There's been a few injuries on this team, a few losses, so how's the morale?
I think we keep it pretty good. Obviously, you don't want to be down and feel sorry for yourself, but obviously you don't want to act like nothing's wrong. So yeah, I think we understand the task ahead, and we understand that we have to finish games. We've come very close in most of our losses, and we're probably 3 or 4 plays away from being a 8-2 team, which is easy to say, but it just shows that if we could play better football throughout the game, then we're as good as anybody, and we believe that. So it's just a matter of finishing in the fourth quarter. I think defensively. We've had opportunities to win 3 division games, and we haven't gotten it done. So our offense bailed us out a lot last year, and it's time for us to do the same. So.
In terms of keeping that perspective, has that Kyle's been like kind of the message throughout the year also is you're close, just a couple of plays away, or is it getting more terse from each other?
I mean, he just kind of lays out the games and how we lose them. That's just kind of what I've seen from the losses we've had. I mean, we've had the game, we've had the lead, and we've had to go get a stop, and we haven't done it. So,
I realize that it's not as severe, but since you're not about to have surgery or anything, but is what you're dealing with now bring back any sort of memories of your last year at Ohio State?
no, it's a completely different thing. It's more of an upper body thing, honestly.
Okay, what you're dealing with now.
Yeah, it's not the core, which is a good thing.
Right.
Nick, are you still confident that you have the pieces in the building to make the difference in the second half of the season?
Oh yeah, of course. We have really good players who have been in tough positions before, and we got to go win some games. So either we win and make this season what we wanted it to be from the start, or we let it slip. But obviously, we're going to push as hard as we can.
Do you feel like it's just fixable mistakes that have been happening on the field?
I do, yeah. I mean,
Thank you, Nick.
George, how
Oh, what's up, man?
Hi, how are you doing?
What's up?
Kyle said you were close. I mean, I know you play through all sorts of stuff. Is it different when it's a hamstring? Or you just...
You know, the hammy's a tough thing. It's actually, I think it's like besides this year, that's like one of the, I think the last time I did a hammy was like my rookie season, really. And they're just really finicky, and it's one of those things that, you know, you just be running a random route, and all of a sudden you pull it even more, and then it's 4 to 6 weeks, and then I'm on probably season-ending IR. So it's just kind of something we wanted to make sure I had full confidence in, and did not have full confidence in it, and so it was a pretty easy decision for us on game day.
Is it related to the week 3 hamstring?
No, it was luckily it was completely different, which is, I think it's a good thing. Not re-injuring the same thing multiple times. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. That's what my brain's telling me to say.
Did it feel roughly the same throughout the week, or did it kind of fluctuate as the
No, it definitely got better throughout the week, and then Saturday was a tough day. Like I thought I felt pretty good on Friday. Saturday didn't feel great, and Sunday was just not a good enough place to be like, all right, let's go out there and push it. I don't think it would have been my best self anyways.
How do you feel now, and what's your hope for Sunday?
I will be playing on Sunday. Very excited. Can't pass up playing the Packers. So no, I will be out there for sure. Get a practice today. It'll be very fun and exciting.
Kittle, talking to a former player, I asked, Debo said on his podcast, it's been a frustrating season in some respect. And when I asked the former player here from the Niners, what did you do in that situation when that was the case with your team, he said that this is when the captains really step in and get vocal. Has that been the case so far?
Yes and no. So far this week, not as much. This is our first day really in the building together, so we haven't had like a players only meeting or something like that. I don't think we're at that point. You could look at, hey, we're like 3 possessions away from being 8-2, but you can't really live like that. And those are the mistakes that we've made to be 5-5, and it's not exactly where we want to be. And while it is frustrating, yes, the nice thing is we have 7 games left to go out there and play Niners football, and take advantage of those opportunities. I think I've said since week 2, week 3, week 4 is that we need to be better on third down in the red zone, and we continue to have to do better at that stuff. And so just the more we get to practice, the better we're going to get. And I'm just thankful that I get to be out there and practice with the boys today. I hate missing all those practices and stuff like that, really, like not being able to be in the huddle, and just spread some positive vibes around there. But I think we have a great foundation. We have great captains. We have guys who've been through it before, and each year is very unique. Like the same things aren't going to get you out of any rut. But I think we have the right mindset for it. We have the right guys for it. So I'm just looking forward to playing and getting a dub on Sunday.
George,
Kyle had mentioned on Monday that you guys came in pissed off, and I imagine that's not something you want to dwell on. But how can you use that to fuel you for Sunday and beyond?
I'm never really pissed off, so I don't think he's speaking for everybody. But no, I get it. You do get frustrated, when you don't close out games. It's not fun. have the win right there, and then either you don't do something on offense to pull away, or your defense, doesn't finish it out. And so that is frustrating. Losing our third divisional game that's frustrating as well. So I think that's what he means by we're pissed off. And but it's fun. I woke up. What was that? Yesterday I had just a ton of gratitude for life yesterday, and I'm just looking forward to playing football, and I'm just going to try to put that energy on all my teammates.
This group has closed out so many games throughout the years. Why do you feel like closing out games has been an issue this year for this team?
You changed your question. You rethought it.
I phrased it.
That was better.
Thank you.
I agree. It's a great question. I'm not entirely sure. Like I said, like each season is so unique, and there's ebbs and flows of each season. There's different players on the field and different coaches. There's no blame to put anywhere. I just think that honestly, there is a little bit of blame. I think the blame is our offense needs to perform at a better, and that's players. And really, Coach Shanahan gives us opportunities to go out there and close games, and we've kind of missed on those opportunities. Whether it's missed blocking on a run play by anybody, bad cut, even Brock with a bad throw. Like we just missed out on some of those opportunities that we've been cleaner before in the past. And I think that's one thing. I think our defense is playing at a level enough for us to win. I think we should be scoring 25 plus points a game to be able to win those games. And to me, the pressure's on the offense. And it's not really pressure. It's just like, hey guys, just go play football the way we've been playing, and we have to be better than we have been.
George, I have a question about screen passes. You've thrown the least screens this year, which is way down from last year. Is that a function of defenses keying in on the success that you did have in years prior, or is there something else that you've noticed in that trend?
I don't really have a good answer for you on that one. I know we have them installed. Coach Shanahan calls them sometimes he doesn't. I know there's a lot of stuff with Debo is probably our best screen runner, and anytime that he's on the ball, a lot of teams try to press him and take away those screen opportunities to him. And they're installed though, so if we call them, we don't. I prefer just to run the ball. That's just my opinion, or throw it to me. Either way.
You guys had a lot of guys out during training camp. How much do you think that matters, or how much do you think that's been an effect this year?
On the guys that held out during training camp?
Just guys being out and not having the same normal full squad practices you normally have building up.
I think practicing makes you a better football player. I don't care who you are. You could be a 10-year vet. You could be a rookie. You get better from playing. And I think rookies definitely need to practice more than Trent Williams needs to practice. But when you look back to last year, Bosa, you could ask him. He started the year a little rusty. He just didn't feel like his normal self. And weeks 4, 5, 6, he got into a rhythm. And so practice just gets you prepared for the NFL season. So Christian's going to continue to get better for us because he hasn't played. And he's just going to look better and better each and every single week. Practice means a lot. Now, the nice thing is, when guys are holding out and not practicing, those are usually guys who are really good at football. So while they might have been a week or two behind, I don't think it messes with the flow too much. You can count on Trent Williams to be very dominant, and we were counting on BA to be very dominant, which he was just starting to get into that trend.
George, what do you guys have to do on offense?
Say again?
Debo hasn't been as effective as a runner. This year he's averaging 2.9 yards a carry. He's usually 6.4. I don't know. Anything you put your finger on as far as defenses, keying in anymore?
We've been doing Debo in the backfield for 3 years now, so I think teams have adjustments made for it. And Debo's a very explosive runner. When he gets downhill, he bounces off the guys, and definitely one of our best yak players. And in my opinion, I think Debo's fine. I could block better for him, give him more openings. But I think it's just us on the team have to execute a little bit better, and we haven't been the cleanest as an offense at all. Thank you. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Yes, Jennifer.
Last one here.
How do you guys eliminate the mistakes that you had on offense? You had a 14-play drive, 26 yards. I know you weren't on the field.
14-play drive that we punted on.
Yes.
That was I think that's a Coach Shanahan first. I asked him that. That's wild, isn't it?
Yeah.
Frustrating, some would say. I would say, anything that comes with the alignment stuff, illegal formation stuff, I think as a team, everyone on the team would say that's inexcusable, and that's just something that hey, you as a player just need to not do that again. You've had that mistake, don't do it again. When it comes to holdings and stuff like that, you just try to teach the guy, hey, make sure you run your feet and keep your hands inside, and just try your best not to do it. There's holding on every single play, and sometimes you get calls, especially at the point of attack, and I think that was an emphasis last week. So we're trying our best to keep our hands inside and hold less, obviously.
All right, thanks, George.
You know, it's like a historical, venue to play at. Obviously, the last time being there was a great time, but that has nothing to do with what we're going into now. Worst part, probably just, it's a little chillier out there. That's it. I'm sure everybody will say that.
Kind of follow up with that one. It's a little cold out here, a little colder than it's been, at least this season. And then it's rainy this week. Does that kind of help to prepare for a game up there? Or does it have no effect at all?
Yeah, I guess it can help a little bit. I think people in California, they all of a sudden it drops below 65 and people start freaking out a little bit. But hey, when Sunday comes, that's the last thing you think about is the weather.
Fred, there are so many variables to closing out a game and ways to do it. When the team is in a sort of a rut and not being able to close them out, do you just have to zero in on your own job and hope the guy next to you does his, or how do you get out of that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a collective group effort. It'd be easy to say, like, let me just focus on me. Let me just be the best Fred Warner that I can be, and hopefully that's enough. But at the end of the day, like, I'm 7 years into this, and I'm playing with guys who are first year, second year. Like, if we're all not seeing it the exact same way, then that's my fault at the end of the day, in my opinion. So we all have to make sure we're all on the same page in those critical moments. Throughout the week, talking about it, meeting up together separately, like doing those sort of things, which we've been trying to do, throughout the season. But we obviously just got to continue to do that more and more to make sure we're playing with that chemistry, cohesion.